here we go. So I'm reviewing, first I'm going to review the map, then I'm going to go over the timeline. So as you look at this map, there's two parts, right? There's this map and then there's this map. The most important thing is that you understand that these are a map of the same exact world. The big difference here is that this is the Pacific Ocean here in the middle, and that this is the Pacific Ocean on these sides. Okay, thank you. So, I have, if I look here, right, like if I want to go from Asia here to the Americas, this is where a lot of people make mistakes. I go this way, from Asia to the Americas. If you look at it over here, look at it over here, right? This is Asia to the Americas. It's just a different place of the ocean, right? It's just a different location. The Atlantic Ocean is on this side for this map. Once you get that and understand that, okay, then this whole thing makes sense. And actually, all the answers are right here. It's just a matter of, can you read the map properly? Jesse, you with me? All the answers are right here. So, if I look at this, right, the first thing it says, label the place of human origin with the 1. Well, if I'm looking at the map, the place of human origin with the 1 is Africa. The answer's right there, East Africa. Then I just find Africa, which on this map is right in the middle, and I put my 1, East Africa. That's it, right? It's actually, answer is right here. Okay? And then the next one says, draw an arrow to the first place of human migration and label it with the 2. Well, the first place of human migration is out of Africa into the Middle East. So I draw my arrow, stay on land as much as you can. Africa to the Middle East, there's my 2. That's the only place they could go, right? Outside of Africa. All right, now, the next direction has 3 parts to it. It says, draw arrows from the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Sorry, 4 parts to it. Places of human migration, and label them accordingly. And then it says, notice how the 2 maps are different, right? So, look. These are different strands of humans. They're the same human species, but they have different strands of DNA. So that's why we can measure it. The first group went this way and ended up down in Australia. That would be label number 3. The second group went this way and ended up in Europe. And then this other group was an offshoot of this group. Which if you just think about human development and what humans look like, their genetic drift, look, these folks don't look the same, right? These are Europeans. If you go this way, these are Asians, right? We Asians drifted off from this group here and this group. Now, those people have a tendency to have a lot of similar physical features. Okay? Now, when you get to this next question is where a lot of people make mistakes. So make sure you're not going from 2 to 3 and then 3 to 4. That's not how humans migrate. One set of humans went one way, the other set went the other way. Okay? Now, when you get to this next one, it says draw an arrow from the 6th to the 7th place of human migration and label it. First, you got to go from 5 to 6. 5 to 6 goes this way. Remember, I just showed you. This is how you get to the Americas. Through here. Because that's the way this map is set up. It's the same as the way the map's set up on the wall. The other map, this map, has it set up this way so it's easier to see. But it's the same exact route. Okay? Then they get to the North America, and then they get to South America. Okay? Which just makes sense, right? They're obviously going to go from here to here. Now, this is where a lot of people got confused as well. 5 goes to 8. And it says it right in the directions. It says, draw an arrow from the 5th to the 8th place of human migration. And this is because it's timed. Human migration is timed. So these people were there first, these people second, these people went this way third, fourth, whatever, right? But this group and this group had been done migrating, and then we had another group go on offshoot this way, 8, and then they continued into the Pacific Islands here, 9. If you get confused on when I know this map doesn't do a good job of showing the Pacific Islands, but look at our map right there. You can see them all right there, right? This is the Pacific Island. So your arrow should go into these Pacific Islands. Okay? Now, does Hawaii count as a Pacific Island? Yes, but it's kind of a little further away, right? So the majority of the islands are down here in the southern hemisphere. Okay? Now, there's 3 kind of easy points here at the end. It says, circle the only continent that humans did not migrate to. Easy. There's only one that they didn't migrate to, Antarctica. Then it says, put a star next to the number that all humans trace back to. You can test their DNA, they all trace back to here. That's what the whole movie's about. Right? And then it says, this is essentially a free point. Shading the continent you feel most connected to. Right? I was shading North America, that's where I live. I'm shading in the whole continent. Don't shade in the country, shade in the whole continent. You can shade in any continent you feel connected to, it doesn't matter. Okay? Everybody good? Alright, let's talk about the timeline. So turn your page to page 57. Alright, so with the timeline, it's really about setting it up. Once you set it up, it's hard to mess it up. The problem is, we went over it, some people were absent, some people just weren't paying attention. Okay? So, we get going here on the timeline. The first thing is, it says circa. So, don't lose those points. I told you I was going to take points off, and a lot of people lost those points. So, every time you write a time here for this timeline, you write circa first. Lowercase c and a dot, period, right? That's it. And then it says convert all the times to the secular version. That's easy. We know how to do this. Don't forget it. BCE, 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 BCE. There's no AD or CE on this timeline. So everything should be BCE. Okay? Then, now we need to add the events, and we got to think about space. Okay? So the best way to do that is add the oldest event, 200,000, BCE, circa. And then our most recent event, 2,500, BCE. Okay, this is human migration to Pacific Islands, one we just talked about. This is human origin in East Africa. We just looked at it on the map, right? It's the same story, same data, just doing 2 different types of things. Okay? So now, right? Now I need to find my middle. This is roughly 200,000 years, right? 197,500, whatever. So it's roughly 200,000 years. So my middle is going to be 100,000. Okay? My middle is going to be 100,000. This side has nothing. I got nothing between 200,000 and 100,000. It's got nothing. Okay? So I'm going to leave this side blank, and I'm going to go on this side. Now, if I want to do this side right, the best thing to do here will just be find the middle again, which is going to be 50. So now I got circa 50,000 BCE, and there's an extra bonus, there's an answer. Human migration in Australia. So now I can just write human migration into Australia. Okay? Now I go from there. I got 70,000, which would be kind of in the middle, a little bit over here. 70,000, circa 70,000 BCE. This is human migration to the Middle East. Then I got 40,000. Notice how I do one up, one down, one up, one down. That way it gives me more space for those of us that struggle with the space. 40,000 BCE, this is human migration to Europe and East Asia. And then I got, 20,000, 15,000, and 3,500. So this would be 20,000, circa 20,000 BCE, human migration to North America. Then I got 15,000 BCE, circa human migration to South America. And my last one, see how I skipped this space here because this is going to be right next to this. I got 3,500 circa BCE, human migration to the islands of Southeast Asia. Okay? This is what your timeline looks like. All this time, everybody was in what continent? From here to here. Everybody was in what continent? Africa, right? Once they left Africa, the migration was pretty quick, considering, right? 70,000 years all the way to 2,500 years. So once they left Africa, it was like boom, 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 got to all the rest of the world, okay? When do you guys take your quiz? Make sure you write the events. I abbreviated here because I'm just going over it, but you just write it out and make sure you take your time and do it correctly, okay? All right,